Okay guys, so we've got our curve. We've said if we want x squared minus 5 equaling 4, we put a line through. Now what I'm going to do for each one of these is basically just put the lines first. So I'm going to rub these ones out. Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay, so going to, for these ones for instance, for number 1, we want it equal to minus 1, so what you should have done is drawn a line through minus 1. Okay. The next one would be through 1, so I've drawn a line through 1. The next one would have been through 7, so if you've done this, good. The next one would have been through 6. Alright. Now the last one I'm not going to check yet, so let's just have a look at your answers. So when x squared minus 5 is minus 1, this is the minus 1 line, so it's here. So we get our answers. X equals 2 and minus 2, so we get 2 answers. Okay. When it's equal to 1, well, what do you notice? So it goes in between. So what do we think?
Minus 2.5.
Maybe, yeah. Minus 2.5 and x equals 2.5. Right, we're going to check in a minute. Don't worry, Brad, you understand the principle of the idea, yeah? So we don't need to have done them all necessarily. When it's equal to 7, we go down, and what value do we read off? So x equals 3.5. I think it's slightly less, so maybe 3.4 and minus 3.4 maybe. Yeah? When x equals 6 is this one, so what do you think that value is? So x equals... Pardon? No. No, it's not. It's less than that, isn't it? Look, so if I go down there, what do you think that is? So if that's negative 3, that's negative 4. Some of you are not paying attention at all here. You're just writing, which means you're not going to learn. So write afterwards, listen to what, interact with me. What do you think that number is? If it's minus 3, minus 4, it's not minus 3.5, is it? 3.2. That's better. Minus 3.2, I would say. And 3.2. Finally, actually, I'm going to come back to this last one. Right. Now, what we're going to do is get our calculators to work some of these values out for us. So I want you to show you how you can use your calculator to do exactly what we've just done. Alright? Are you all paying attention now? Yep. It's very important. First thing, do you understand the concept of it equaling a number and putting the line across at that number? Yeah? Are you all okay with that? Some of you are just not responding at all. Yeah? Are we happy? Yeah? Good? Yep. Alright. So, these numbers here are the x values that we think will give me the y values that I've asked for. Now some of them look spot on, so like when it's equal to that one, that's fine, yeah? When it's equal to that one, it's fine. But some of these we've had a bit of an estimate. It's not a guess because we've got a line in front of it, it's an estimate. But our calculator can do it properly for us. This is what we're going to do. Right, so I'm going to show you how to do this. Right. On your calculator then, right, we are first off going to put in our x squared minus 5. You all make sure you've got that one in. Right, do that for me. And then when you graph it, right, make sure you've got good space. So I'm going to put in my window, I'm going to spread the graph, so I'm only going to go from minus... Well, here I only need to go minus 4 to 4. Minus 4 to 4, because that's what's on my screen. And then, what do I need to go from minus 5 on my graph up to, how far did I go? 10? 10 will do. So let's put that in for there. So up to 10, minus 5 to 10. So that's where I've got those values. Look, x minus 4 to 4 will do, I think. And y from minus 5 up to 10 will do. And then when I press graph, I should get very similar to what's on my screen here, which I do. Yeah. Okay. It's what's on this screen here. Alright. Now. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and find these points here. So when it equals minus 1. Alright, anyone got any ideas how we might go about that?
Oh, move the yeah, can you move the thing around?
Okay, so if you press trace, you can do that, but it's not very accurate. Because mine, it's not very accurate at all. Alright, then this trace button gives you a nice idea, but it doesn't get me to exactly minus 1. So it's not that useful actually. That trace button is not that useful. Alright, so what we've got to do, actually, we've got to do the same thing that we do on the paper. We've got to draw a line across the graph. So what I'm going to do, you remember I said up here, look, it's y equals whatever the number is. But I'm going to go back to my line and I'm going to put another y equals, and I'm going to put minus 1 in this case. Yeah, so we're looking for the minus 1, so I'm going to put a minus 1. Just that, y equals minus 1 in. So I've got the first one and I've got y equals minus 1. When I press graph now, you've got the same thing that you've got on your calculator. Alright, now is where the magic of the calculator comes in. Okay? Alright. Now, what did we do on the paper? So where it crosses, we've got to find the x value that gives it, yeah? Do exactly the same thing, so we won't need to cross it. But what we do is we use this button here, the calculate. So you press second and trace for calculate. We've got that option up there. Any ideas which one? It's on the screen, the one we need. Intersect is right. Okay. We'll talk value in a minute and 0, but the one we want now is intersect. And it says, this is quite easy, but people struggle to remember it. The first curve, you'll notice if you press left and right, you've got a cursor on there. It will be on one of the two curves, one of the lines. So just press enter, because you only got 2. First curve, yeah, enter. I'm fine with that. You'll notice that the cursor then moves to the other line and says second curve. We just press enter. Okay, we're going to press enter, and then it says guess. I just press enter again, and it tells me, look, that when y is minus 1, x is 2, which was the answer. Now the question is, that's that one. How do I get this one?
You move to the other side.
Okay, alright. So what I do is I do it again, second, calculate, go to intersect, alright, press enter. With the cursor though, I move it all the way around the curve so it's closer to the one that I want. So I keep going. So now it's near the one that I want, the intersect. This is where you've got to have the knowledge, it doesn't know. Then I press enter and it'll put another one nearby, and then press enter, guess, yeah, enter, and it gives me the answer minus 2. Okay?
Minus 2, minus 1.
Yeah, so the answers we need are what comes with the x.
It tells me the intersection is y equals minus 1, x equals minus 2.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what
But
we've
the
got.
free says just.
That's because I did the other side. Yeah. There's 2 and minus 2. Now, what you're going to do is use that method. So what we can do now, go back to y equals, we can change that to be the other numbers, and I want you to check whether you can find all the intersects and check these ones that are decimals and see whether you got it right. Make sense? See how close 3.4 is, for instance. I want you to do them all. So a bit of practice on your calculator. Don't worry about writing it down unless you've got a different answer to what you wrote from your graph. And then don't rub out the one from your graph, just write it next to it and say calculator answer, or you know. Everyone clear? Let me know if you need some help. Okay guys, how have you got on?
Good.
Yeah, so can I just ask then, which ones do we need to maybe adjust? So the 2 and minus 2, that's
Yes.
fine, they were alright. What about the minus 2.5, 2.5? Were they actually the same, or what was it? So it was plus and minus 2.449. So to 2 decimal places that would be 2.45. So plus and minus 2.45, yeah? So we weren't far off with our graph. We're alright. What about the 3.4 and minus 3.4? 3.4.
6.
So 3.46. Okay?
3.5.
So, but to 2 decimal places, like I've asked, 3.46. What about the 3.2? So x squared. 3 to 2 decimal places? 3.31. Are you happy?
You need to put 3 decimal places.
I said 2 decimal places. I did say. Okay. Right. Now, this one, guys, is important for you to pay attention to. Because we're gonna, you're gonna need to be able to do this regularly. So this last one, I would say to you, is very important. This whole equaling 0 thing is important. You are going to be doing that a lot. Algebraically, using a graph, equaling 0 is very, very useful. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go through it 2 ways. We're going to get you to do it with your calculator, and we're going to do it algebraically because it leads to something that you are used to now. Now, this one is slightly different in that we don't need to draw a second line. And that's because it's important. So, for instance, go back to my calculator. I've got my graph. I could put a y equals 0, but actually, I've got a line there. But if I do second calc intersect, enter, first curve, enter, that's fine. Second curve, well,
It's right in the middle.
where's the second curve?
It's in the middle.
There is no, I've not drawn a second curve because there isn't one.
Yeah.
I would have to draw the y equals 0 line, wouldn't I? However, because this is an important one, we actually have 1 4 zeros equaling 0. It's got its own special one. Okay. Now, before we do that, where on the graph is it equal to 0?
No,
So where is it equal to 0?
okay.
Tell
For
me.
the curve, yeah, in
What?
the middle.
In here?
Yeah.
Ah, is it? Think about what you've just been doing. Where is it equal to -1? That point and that
So
point.
it's in the middle.
Here?
Both lines crossing.
No, it's like right in the middle.
Here?
Yeah.
There?
No.
Yes, it's this point and this point.
Really?
Because that line is when y equals,
Because
Yeah.
they both meet.
it's when y equals 0. Okay? That is the x-axis, is the y equals 0 line. Because this line, y equals 1. This line, y equals -1. This line, y equals 6. So it makes sense that the x-axis is y equals 0.
And it's not very hard. It's just.
No, it's exactly the same. Yeah. But all I wanted to show you is I could have done here a y equals 0, but you wouldn't see any different on the graph because the y equals 0 line is there, yeah? It's an axis. But your calculator doesn't treat it like a line. You'd have to draw the line, but you wouldn't notice it. So all I'm saying is there is a special 0. You press 0. Now it's treated in a slightly different way. So, because there is only one curve, we have to go left and right. So the left bound, I'm going to press until my cursor is to the left of that point. Doesn't matter where, just to the left of it. I'm going to press enter now, and you'll notice it puts a little arrow. Then it says to the right bound. So what do you think I do? Go to the right. Doesn't matter exactly how far. Press enter. You notice how the two arrows. Now it's only going to look between those 2 points for a 0. I guess, just press enter, and it tells me that my answer is
2.2.
I didn't do that and I got the same answer.
so x equals minus 2.23, and the other one would be
Same.
x equals positive 2.23.
Missed the part. I didn't do this. I didn't do the same thing you did, but I got the same answer.
How did you do it?
I did the same thing as we did with that number.
Yeah, well you could, right? You could just, if you like, do a y equals 0, press the graph, you'll notice there's no line but it is there, calculate, intersect, first curve, second curve, enter, gives you the same answers. I'm just showing you there is a different way to do the equal 0. Right, make sense? Okay. Right, I'm going to ask you one other before we do this, because it's quite important. X squared minus 5 equals 0 can be done another way. In fact, they can all be done a slightly different way. Right, so maybe you want to write this on the back of your graph or in your book or whatever you want to do. Right. Any ideas? You should know how to do this now, because of your work with Mr. Jodler and Mr. Tyson. How do I solve x squared minus 5, but without using that graph?
The root.
What do I have to do first?
Root x.
No.
X.
Something I have to do first. Igor, wake up, stay with me.
Yeah,
You're not, you're daydreaming. I'm just telling you, don't argue. Right? What's the first thing I need to do to solve this algebraically? Yeah?
you need to write that 0 equals y.
No, that would be doing the graphing method. I don't want to use the graph. I want to use it algebraically. Imagine I've got no graph now. You're kind of right, but you've missed a step, Andrew. First step.
Root x.
Nope.
Root.
Igor?
X equals root x squared minus 5 equals 0.
You haven't done anything yet. That's the same thing. So what do I have to do? I've got to find x equals, yeah? That's what I'm after. So, what equals 5?
Oh, x equals. Oh.
We know the answers. We know the answer should be 2.23 and minus 2.23. We know that should be the answer.
And if we didn't know that, how?
Well, that's what I mean. How do we get there? So, do you not remember solving your equations?
It's different.
It's not. We add 5 to both sides.
Oh.
Yeah? Gives me x squared equals
5.
5. Now what do I do, Andrew?
Root.
Root. Square root both sides.
Oh, add the same number.
Get x equals the square root of 5. Surds, guys.
I got it.
We leave it as the square root of 5. But what happens? Why have I only got one answer here but 2 answers on my graph?
Because root can be both negative or positive.
Well done, good. When you square root something, you can have a positive answer and a negative answer. Now, using your calculator, guys, what is the square root of 5? Just check, just so you're happy. Check. Do it. Square root of 5.
Oh, 2.23.
Okay. Square root of 5
Wait,
equals.
2.2.
square root.
Actually, it should have been 2.24, shouldn't it? We should have had
Oh, yeah.
2.236. But we've got x equals 2.236 and x equals minus 2.236. But here's the important thing to remember. Okay? Remember, you must remember that you must remember that root something, right, root 5 for instance, has a positive and a negative answer. Because on your graph it's very obvious that there are 2 answers. But when you do it algebraically, it only looks like one answer, square root of 5. So you if you do not remember that there is a positive and negative answer, you will get it wrong, or you'll lose a mark. Do you understand?
Are we allowed to do it without calculator?
Yes,
Then.
if it's a calculated paper.
Again, would this be in the calculated paper or without the calculator?
Don't know.
Oh, come on.
Right, I'm just going to check your understanding now. I'm just going to check your understanding. I'm going to do one of the other ones. I'm going to ask you to solve x squared minus 5 again, okay, equals minus 1. So that's one that we've done. We know the answer. What's the answers? X equals
2.44.
minus 1.
Equals 2.
X equals 2 and x equals.
Minus
So we should be able to get those answers. So how do we do this one algebraically then?
plus 5.
So we add 5 again. So I'm just going to rewrite it over here. We add 5 there and there. Leaves me with x squared equals minus 1 add 5 makes 4.
Yeah, root 4.
Now I do
2.
square root both sides. So that gives me x equals root 4, which is 2 and
Positive.
minus 2. Okay? So we get the same answers, so we're lucky. Yeah, well, not lucky, we're knowledgeable. Alright? Yeah? Happy with that? Good. So you've got 2 ways to do this now. I'm going to give you a different function. Obviously, as soon as I change the function, you're going to have a different graph. But I want you to do the solutions again, but using your calculator and use your graph. You're going to use your calculator, so you're going to sketch the answers. Okay. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to
No, can I just go?
no, because we can't wait for your drought. It'll be there again next time. You can catch up.
Can I take a picture?
No, it'll be there in a minute. Okay. I just need to set everyone else off, and you should want to start something new as well. It will be there. I can always print it off. Let's not waste time writing all these notes so slow. Alright, I can always print it off. Right, it's on a video, you can make your notes afterwards, even better. Alright, so I'm going to ask you to solve, right, come on computer, right, x squared plus 2x minus 4, okay, equals 1. That's the first one. I want you to solve x squared plus 2x minus 4 equals minus 5. I want you to solve x squared plus 2x, come on computer, minus 4 equals 0.
Wait,
So, it's the same bit here each time, but I want to know, it's going to be a different curve, what I need from you guys, you paying attention because some of you have got straight on and you're going to not do it properly. I need from you in your books a sketch of what the curve looks like. Alright? That's all, and then the solutions written down by the side. So you don't need to use the graph this time, apart from the fact you're using your calculator. Do you understand?
Yes, but what do we write in y1?
So you don't understand. What do we write in y1, guys?
Squared plus 2x minus
Exactly.
4.
Exactly. So that is y1. So
And then
y1 equals, and y2 equals
y1. 1.
whatever's there. Alright, the last one obviously is a bit. So I need, how many solutions do you think there are going to be? 2 in each one. So I need a nice sketch, ruler on your book, and so on. Okay.
So why this?
Right guys, let's have a quick look. There's a few interesting ones here. What do you get as the answer to part B?
Negative 1.
Negative 1 and
Negative 1.
so actually this one only has
What
one solution.
Oh.
There is only one solution because you would have noticed that when you drew your line it was right on the bottom, yeah?
Yeah,
The curve.
It didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it only touches it. Whereas the other one, it crossed in two places. So this one has two different solutions, but this one only has one solution. That's quite important, actually. All right. Have you found out where it's equal to 0? Everyone got the answers?
Yes.
So there's definitely two solutions, isn't there?
Yes.
So x equals
1.23
1.23 and
negative or positive. Negative.
they're not the same answer, are they? You've assumed that there's negative 3.19.
Yes.
Okay. Do we all agree?
No.
Should we just check? I'm going to put it in again. Come on, calculator, switch on. I'm going to put in this time like you've done. So plus 2x minus 4.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to graph it. There's my graph. I'm happy with that. I'm going to find my two solutions. So it's, which one do we use?
Intercept.
0 for this one. I'm going to find this one. So I'm going to go to the left of it. I'm going to go to the right of it. Press enter and I get the answer 1.236. You've got to be careful because 1.236 is actually 1.24 to 2 decimal places. Let's work on the other one then. So I'll do it again. Calculate 0. This time I have to go all the way around.
Wait, Mr. Paul.
Yeah.
So it's for the one that you're trying to find, it's negative.
Well, let me
3.
find it, yeah? So I'm going to go to the left of it. I'm going to go to the right of it. And what do you think it is, Ralph?
No, there's that. Oh wait, no.
I haven't got an answer yet. I haven't pressed enter.
Negative 2.23.
I think it's negative 3.236.
That's what I said.
So negative,
No.
negative,
That's what we
Negative
said,
2.
negative
Oh, but I got the same answer.
okay? So it should be negative 3.24. So whoever said 3.19, sorry, no. Okay? Okay. For the slightly more advanced of us, so if you haven't done these, don't worry too much, but let's all watch it together now. So if you just put your pens down. If you want to do this afterwards, obviously it'll be in the video, you can follow it through. Who had a go at D? What did you do? Hey?
What do you do? I don't know.
How did you do it?
I just entered in the thing.
So I've got the first one still there. And what did you put in here? Any ideas what you would have done, guys?
X plus
X
Put
plus
x
1.
plus 1 in, good. we get x plus 1. And this time you'll notice that
There's a line that goes
there's a line, and this time the line is not horizontal. The line goes in that direction. Okay. Let me just take a little snippet of this so it's in my notes. Okay. And think. Right. So there's my what it looks like, and now I've just got to find that point there. Alright, find that point and find this point, yeah?
Found that.
Is that what you did? Okay, so if I find those 2 points, which one did you find, Drow? A or B? B, so x equals what for B?
I'm not sure. I think it's 1.79.
1.79? Yeah? Looks like it could be, definitely. What about A?
probably minus 2.
Oh, I can see what you've done. Minus 2. Do you think it's, have you worked it out exactly? No then, okay. Let's work that out. So, second function, calculate, intersect. So we can do it with other lines as well. I'm going to make sure I'm nearer that bit. Press enter, second curve, enter, guess, enter. There it is. Well, you were right. Minus 2.79, because there is some form of symmetry about it. Got that? Right. Now, to kind of finish off this section, this one, changed it slightly.
Can you change this one? You change it?
Alright, so let's do this on here. So this time I'm going to have x squared and plus 3 instead. And what am I going to put here again? I'm going to put minus 4. So that's normal, so that's fine. Press graph. There's that graph. And there's that line. So I'm actually, sorry guys, I'm going to just take a little snippet of that. You'd be sketching this yourself. There's my sketch. Right. What do you notice? So there is the x squared plus 2x plus 3. And this is the y equals minus 4. Alright. So I'm saying to you, solve x squared plus 2x plus 3 equals minus 4. Now, Andrew, you were talking about this one, and you were saying there's a problem.
Yeah.
So, what was your final answer? Did you come up with something?
Actually,
No? Did anyone have any ideas?
Don't you look at
I tried to change one way, but it doesn't work.
Well, they're both in my window. What's been important for all the others that we've done? If they cross. We're looking for where they cross. What do you notice about those and stuff? They don't cross. Therefore, look, it doesn't work. Needs to be written as
0
nope,
doesn't count.
not doesn't count, not minus, but there
There's no intersection.
are no intersections, and therefore there are no. Miss
No.
Titus had a thing on her window.
Solution.
There are no answers, there are only solutions, and in this case there are not even any solutions. There are no solutions.
Oh.
Now,
That's why it took me so long.
what does that mean? What does there are no solutions mean?
There
There
were
was
no
no
solution.
He didn't have
Not
cross.
that you keep, they don't cross, but what does it mean?
You do nothing.
We've got x squared plus 2x plus 3. This is where we check whether you fully understood the whole thing. So those of you that think you are brilliant and should be working at a different level, this is where you should be kicking in and giving me the answers. What's actually happening is you're sat there daydreaming. So, the rest of it, what does it mean when I say there are no solutions?
You need to change the
Nope. Can't change it. Can't change something just because there are no solutions. But what does it mean? No?
That's the answer.
I got it. It's completely wrong.
No? There's nothing wrong. There are no solutions does not mean you've done anything wrong. It does not mean there are anything wrong. It does not mean that you have to change anything. You just need to interpret what there are no solutions means. And this is, what have we been looking for all this way through? The solution. X, thank you, Oscar. Right.
Oh, they are not.
X, 1.4. What does that mean?
They are not cross.
We've got that, but what does it mean?
Well,
What does X 1.4 mean here?
I mean,
They have the cross the X line.
No, not
it's the
necessarily.
point that crosses the line.
Yeah, but what does it mean?
Well, it's
We've seen it. You're right. It's the point that crosses the line.
That X equals that number.
When? For what purpose?
When you add 2x minus 4.
I think you're almost there. Do you remember I said early on, I think up here, where have I put it? X goes in, right? X goes in, what comes out?
4.
4.
So it's the number that you
So
choose.
X is what you put. So for instance here, if I put 2 in, I get the answer 4. If I put minus 2 in, I get the answer 4. If I put 3.4 in, I get the answer 7.
It's the same with here.
It's the same with here. If I put 1.4 into this, I get the answer 1. If I put minus 3.1 into this, I get the answer 1.
you get the answer.
If I put the answer for X minus 1 into here, I get the
You get
answer
-5.
minus 5. If I put 1.24 into this, I get the answer.
0.
So what does it mean when I say there are no solutions?
Well, you don't get -4.
No, they didn't have it. You don't get -4.
You can never get minus 4.
Because you don't know.
There is, not that you don't know,
It's
it can't happen.
so it's impossible.
It's impossible. When it says there are no solutions because the lines don't cross,
You can't get
this will never equal this. Right? This cannot happen.
Ever.
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 X squared plus 2x plus 3 will never equal minus 4. Doesn't matter what number you put in, it will never equal minus 4. In fact, we can see from the graph, this graph will never have an answer, or this function will never have an answer that is
Not negative.
negative. Never. Because it doesn't go below the axis. In fact, it will never equal 1 either. These are all the answers it went. That is what there are no solutions means. Make sense?
Yeah.
Good. That's
Yes.
Oh,
That's
the solution is positive, but the answer is negative.
Yes.
So it never be happen.
Yes.